Hello, hello, hello. It's kind of bright in here. Oops, gotta turn it down a little bit. There. Good morning, people. Good morning, fellow humans. And when we say fellow humans, what do we mean? We mean colorful nuts. Colorful nuts, because that's how we should see ourselves, not take ourselves too seriously. Good morning. This is Department of Career Services on Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. It is about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we are here to help our students and other interested people on their journey through this life. Where we have a soul, we don't have a soul. We are a soul that lives on after death. So I'm reading something here, which I'll explain later. A soul that lives on after death inside a body. We're a soul with a body. We're not a body with a soul. We're a soul with a body, a soul that lives on after death, an essence that lives on after death. And we're here to help that person, the soul occupying a body, the soul with a body, not occupying a body, the soul with a body, the embodied soul. I don't think that's right. Well, we are that. We are here to help that which is you on your journey through this life, heading towards the next life. And here we have G.school, Monday through Friday. Well, let me take that a step back. So this is a 4-part transformational program: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Monday through Friday, we focus on the physical, mental, and emotional parts. Three of the 4 legs of the table. Physical fitness and health. Keep your body in good shape and condition so it can enable your soul to do more. Mental, always be learning. ABC, always A, always B, C, learning. Always be learning. You need to become autodidactic to make the most of the gift of life that you have been given. And number 3, emotional, you have to control your emotions, because if you don't, someone else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. Okay, but Saturdays and Sundays, we focus on G.school, we focus on the spiritual side. Caveat: if you are already saved, this is not for you, because you're already saved. This is for the other people, the ones who are not saved. And so if we break that down, if you're truly a Christian, meaning you're a Protestant because you believe Catholics are not actually Christians. So if you're a Christian, so let's just do some simple numbers. There's about 8 billion people in the world. About 2.5 billion, a little bit more than a third, no, a little bit less than a third, are Christians. 2.5 billion out of 8. No, that's more than a third. No, that's just under a third. 2.5 billion people are Christians. If you remove the Catholics, well, I don't know why I'm saying Catholics. If you remove the Catholics from that, there's about a little bit more than 1 billion Protestants. If you then take that Protestant subset and which is about 40,000 different non-denominations and denominations of Protestants now, and that number goes up all the time. If you take those 40,000, pretty much the 40,000 say, we are the actual ones who are saved. Each of those say, no, we're the actual one who's saved. They're apostate. They're not saved. That's why they're not with us. They're following some false teaching. So you end up with maybe 100 million people at the most. So you have a whole bunch of different groups of up to 100 million people saying, no, we are the ones who are actually saved. The other 7.9 billion people, they're not saved. We're the only ones that are saved. And if you're part of that 100 million people, and that's like Baptists, okay, that's not Lutherans, it's not Methodists, it's not Presbyterian, it's like the Baptist, including all of the Baptists in there. If you're part of that 100 million, I think there's like 60 million Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints. If you're part of one of those groups and you think you are exclusively saved, great. You have to ask the question, well, why would there be 7.9 billion people? A tenth of it. So 1 out of every 100 people on earth is saved. Okay. And if you're part of that 100 million, great. So this focus is for the other 7.9 billion people, not the 100 million. So please indulge us here. Please indulge us. You're already saved. We're trying to help everyone else. Okay. And we certainly could use your help. So if you're doing it the right way, we're trying to get people to do it the right way. So we could use your help. Boom, boom. Number one. Number two, if you are successful, this is not for you. This is for the people who are not successful, because if you're successful, you've already got it made. However, it would be good to participate because you get to learn how other people see the world. Okay? And also another benefit is just the repetition. It's building better habits. So much of success in life comes from better habits, having discipline. Discipline, if you can get discipline down, to the level of habit, then it's on autopilot. What's a habit? Unconscious behavior. So if your unconscious behavior can be a discipline-oriented thing, in other words, it's not really easy and fun, but I do it automatically, and every time I do it, I get a little bit better, just a little bit better every time I do it, and it's a habit. Wow. That's where we all want to be, is if we have habits that improve us. Habits that improve us, that's discipline. And what is the key to a habit? What is one of the keys to a habit? Repetition, repetition, repetition. Do it until, if you don't do it, it doesn't feel right. That's a complex formulation. Okay, our theme of today is what if? What if? But before we get to that, we are going to look at our worksheet and see what advice we have from an 80-year-old. Advice from an 80-year-old. Be a good loser. Be a good loser. As pet detective, what was his name? Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura. Right. Be a good loser. Why? Why should you be a good loser? Why should you be a good loser? Really simple, pragmatic reason. Practical reason to be a good loser is what? People are going to want to play with you again. If you're a bad loser, people aren't going to want to play with you. They're not going to voluntarily play with you. Be a good loser. People are going to want to play with you. Okay, very practical reason. And you want to be able to play with the other kids. Okay, Seth Godin. Interesting one. Maybe it's how you tell it. The plot of 2001: A Space Odyssey is pretty simple. You could write out a summary in 3 paragraphs. That's not made it one of the most revered movies of all time, and also one of the most difficult to make. Blurting out the plot of what we're offering seems like the obvious thing to do. After all, if people simply heard what we hear, they'd eagerly join us on our journey. Maybe it's not the plot that's the problem. Okay. Blurting out the plot of what we're offering seems like the obvious thing to do. After all, if people simply heard what we hear, they'd eagerly join us on our journey. Yeah, but they don't. So maybe it's not the plot that's the problem. Maybe it's how you tell it. Okay, that is Seth Godin. The video for today, the TED Talk for today, has to do with the categorical imperative. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative, which in a simple formulation is to figure out, is this the right thing to do? And you ask yourself, so in a simple formulation, you ask yourself, if it was a law for everybody to do the thing I'm thinking about doing, if it was a law and everybody did it, would the world be a better place? So typically over the last 14 years, the example used is marijuana. If it was the law that everybody had to smoke marijuana, would the world be a better place? And first people say, yeah, man. People who like marijuana, yeah, man, it's great. But then when they see the impact if everybody did it, what would happen to society? It's like, well, no, it's not. But I want to do it. I know it wouldn't be good if everybody did it, but I want to do it. Okay, so that's Seth Godin. That is Seth Godin, categorical imperative. Sorry, that's the categorical imperative in the TED Talk for today, Kingdom of Heaven from Like Stories of Old. Very good one, very good one. Really breaks the categorical imperative down well, talks about the Kingdom of Heaven. Good one, must see with, I'll never remember his name. Orlando, whoever, right, from Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, what if? Yesterday, I had the great honor and privilege of spending about an hour with my professor, Amanda Quantz, going through this. Going through this to make it better, to make it better. And wow, in 1 hour, she took it from pretty good to got it, to that's the thing. That is the engine that's going to do it. So, what is this? This is designed to go to people in jail, to non-Christians in jail, not Christians. This is designed for non-Christians in jail. People who are non-Christians in jail, that is designed for them. Why? Because people who are Christians don't go to jail. The easiest way to stop the jail problem is not to arrest everyone. The easiest way to stop the jail program is to improve people's behavior. And it turns out, if you have strong faith, strong religious beliefs, be it Buddhist, Hindu, Shinto, Mormonism, LDS, strong beliefs, Jewish, Muslim, if you have strong beliefs, you do not go to jail. If bringing shame upon your family is something that is frowned on, you don't go to jail. So, if you don't want people to go to jail, you need to get them to behave differently. And so we can't really stop people from going to jail, but the idea is let's stop them from going to jail again. Let's stop them from going to jail again. So we go back to the root. Why do you not have religious beliefs? Why do you not believe there is a God? Why do you not believe that? So we created this book, What If? Okay. And it was designed as a high-level thing that people could get. They go through quickly, and they learn enough to pique their interest so that when people come in to do Bible study, this is the textbook for the Bible study. However, there's a problem. The problem is this is what's called a minimalist from below Christological theology. Whereas the standard Christian model is from above, non-minimalist, from above God-centered theology. And the people who would go into the jail are all people who see religion from a top down, not from below, not from Jesus working your way up, but from God working your way down. And that's the standard Christian model. The problem with the standard Christian model is if you have an hour with 10 people who are non-believers, the top down doesn't work. You can't start with God created the universe because they don't believe there's a God. Therefore, there is no God who created the universe. And you're not going to get anywhere trying to tell people there is a God who created the universe. And they say, well, what is the proof of that? And you say, well, the proof of that is in the Bible. They say, well, so that's a circular argument, right? And you only have an hour. You might see the person for an hour. So maybe you can't do a lot in an hour other than plant a seed. Maybe they come back next week. Maybe they have the book. Okay, so the problem with this book is that it requires a facilitator. It requires somebody to go through, what does this mean? And there's been zero support from anyone who has enough knowledge to change from a top-down to a from-below approach. Not interested, even though you say, well, how would you do your thing if you could see somebody for an hour? They don't know, but all they know is you got to start with God. Okay, so yesterday with Professor Amanda Quantz, who went through this thing diligently, page by page, word by word. I have like 7 pages of notes. We switched it around to a thing that people can get the gist of it. They can get the gist of it on their own. You don't need a party to come in. So this was designed for somebody to go in and help you understand it. The new approach is, let's change this a little bit. Get rid of these pages, add a couple of pages here, do this, and this. Do those things and get it so the person down below gets it. What if our soul that was created by God continues on the other side? What if they have a soul that continues after I die? What if Jesus is God in human form? What if I do have a soul that lives on after death? What if the Shroud of Turin is the authentic burial cloth of Jesus? Okay. And then you really focus on that thing, the Shroud of Turin, using the BBC documentary on it. The smartest people in the world, no one has been able to demonstrate that it is a forgery. People from NASA, people from all over, no one has been able to demonstrate it's a forgery. And using Sherlock Holmes logic, if you eliminate all things that it can't be, what's left is what it must be. So if you can't demonstrate that it's a forgery, then it's not a forgery. So instead of trying to prove that it is the burial cloth, prove it's not the burial cloth. Prove it's a forgery. And some of the smartest people in the world have been unable to do it. So that points that points to that the cloth is an artifact that connects us with the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Wow. Okay, so I haven't done it justice. I just wanted to get this on the record. Professor Amanda Quantz took the time to help a lowly student like me who's just out there trying to do as Jesus commanded, to help the hungry, the thirsty, the sick, the unclothed, the unhoused, and people in prison, to help the least of those. She took the time to help me help those people. So I want to acknowledge that, and took the book from being pretty good to this could be the game changer here. This could be the game changer. All of your support is necessary. Thank you very much. Sorry, we're out of time. We've got to feed the meter, people. Hey, feed the meter, man.